So I'm going to try and make this quick, partially because this was a very frustrating game to watch and I don't really want to talk about it without just going on a massive rant, but also because I have a 7 a.m. flight tomorrow to Chicago to fly halfway across the country to see this headache of a team play on Wednesday against the Orlando Magic, and they sure as hell better make it a good game. At least have it be competitive with some sort of effort, or I just might lose it. Not only that, but you guys probably know, Magic fans are kind of my #1 target to troll on Twitter, and getting a win would be very satisfying. But real quick, I've got to take a little break to tell you about today's sponsor, SoRare, which I am super excited to tell you guys about their platform, especially considering it is free to join. It is super fun, and you get to win prizes, collect digital cards and assets in the form of NFTs. Unlike most fantasy sports apps, they are different in that it's actually a fantasy gaming marketplace. There is no gambling or betting of any kind. The site enables you to play where users own their players forever. Think of it like you're a GM creating your own dynasty and you're competing weekly in fantasy competitions for great prizes. Users are owners or general managers of their team, making trades, buying and selling players, all that good stuff. And unlike other gaming sites or betting platforms, it doesn't cost you anything to play. You can start for free. I've created my own private league where you can compete and play against each other for prizes and offers, so check it out if you're interested. Join my private league. Link is in the description. We got some great people in there, and thanks again to SoRare for sponsoring this video. But anyway, about this game against the Bucks. Now, I will say, I went into this game fully expecting the Bulls to lose. I mean, Caruso being out, Lillard, who was out for the Bucks in the last game, he was back in the lineup tonight. You knew this wasn't going to be a game the Bulls were going to be in favor of. A back-to-back as well, and if I'm being honest, a game I fully expected the Bulls to get blown out in. So I guess I should be a little happier, given the Bulls actually kept this game competitive, even after having a terrible first quarter and coming back and fighting their way into the third quarter to eventually take a lead. But the problem was, like we've seen so many times, the Bulls crawl back from being down 17. They take a 1-point lead, and within a matter of a couple minutes, they're down 15 again. And yeah, the Bulls made a little surge at the end of the game where they cut it down to single digits, and you thought maybe, just maybe, we were going to see a repeat of last year when they played Milwaukee and came back at the very end of the game. But no, it was a little too late. The Bulls, like a lot of times that we saw last season and even so far this season, dug themselves into too deep of a hole that they could not crawl their way out of. And that's the crux of my frustration. How many times are we going to see the Bulls come out with a lackluster start, piss poor effort, can't make a shot to save their lives to begin the game, getting out to an extremely poor start, and then they're unable to recover? You saw it last night against the Pistons too, where they played horribly in that first quarter, but luckily, since it's the Pistons, they were able to pull themselves out of it. But that's not going to happen against a team like the Milwaukee Bucks. But then when the Bulls actually did pull themselves out of it, and they took a lead at one point in the third quarter, they completely pissed it away in just a matter of a couple minutes. Zach Lavine, DeMar DeRozan, the Bulls' two best players, their primary scorers, could not get it going tonight. And they really shot the Bulls out of this one. I mean, it was a miracle the Bulls were able to keep it as close as they did when those two combined 8 for 33 from the floor. Now, they contributed in other ways, which was good to see. Both were perfect from the line. Both got to the line at a decent rate as well. Zach finished with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. DeMar, 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. But for Zach Lavine, hate to harp on the guy because I have him for a while now, but when he's your max player, he's going to be critiqued a little more than others. And his offense has just not been as good as we're used to seeing. I mean, Zach normally is one of the best finishers at the rim in the game of basketball. Using his athleticism and his smooth touch to get to the basket and score with ease, dude has been smoking layups recently, missing easy finishes at point-blank ranges sometimes. I'm not even talking about his questionable shot selection and his sudden fall-off in efficiency shooting it from deep. Dude can't score around the basket. Like, what is going on? And I know it's early on in the season, but 11 games in, the sample size isn't as small anymore. And it's very concerning what we're seeing from Zach Lavine. You know, for DeMar DeRozan, I mean, you kind of had to expect there would be some semblance of decline at some point. Dude is 34 years old, has played over 1,000 games. He's not going to be elite forever when it comes to his scoring. And yes, his shot has fallen off, which also hasn't been great. But for Zach Lavine, he's 28, in his prime. And seeing him falling off a bit, I shouldn't even say a bit, a lot on offense is very concerning, especially when his defense continues to be subpar. Coby White, I mean, I like that his scoring numbers are still up. He's been able to knock it down from 3 more, which the Bulls need, but only 1 assist tonight as the Bulls' starting point guard. I mean, look, the only bright spots from this game were Nikola Vucevic and Patrick Williams. Vooch has continued to be solid outside of the first couple of games of the season. He really carried the bulk of the offensive load tonight, with DeMar and Zach being ice cold. Did a good job on Brook Lopez, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, mind you, for a player not really known for attacking the offensive glass. Did a good job on that tonight, giving the Bulls second chance opportunities, but the Bulls couldn't capitalize on said opportunities. But still, for Vooch, 26, 12, and 5 assists. And then for Patrick Williams, probably his best game of the season, which I know isn't saying much, but the offensive side, which was a lot better, 13 points, 4 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 4 from deep, finally got that outside stroke going after a pretty abysmal start to the year, shooting it from outside. He was attacking on the inside as well, but offensive side, he actually was a net positive on the defensive end and actually held his own as best as he could against one of the greatest attackers in transition in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Pat also had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. A solid game for him coming off the bench. And he played in closing minutes, which was great to see. There's been a lot of talk going around recently about the Bulls needing to just break up with Patrick Williams and trade him because it's never going to work. That he needs a new change of scene and environment. I still don't see how that makes any sense for the Bulls at all, given his trade value is so low right now, and also the fact that he's one of the young few assets that the Bulls have on this team. If you pivot to a rebuild, you need to hold on to some of your younger players. Anyway, I'll likely have a separate video out on that topic because it just boggles my mind how so many people think that this is the right move given the current state of the team. But yeah, outside of those bright spots, not much to get excited about from this game. I guess they took a lot of threes, 42 in total, that's rare, but didn't hit them at a high rate, only 33%. And that's the other thing, for the life of me, I cannot figure out why Jevon Carter is still barely playing more than a quarter of a game for this team. 14 minutes tonight, and in a game where Alex Caruso was out. Props to Ayo, he's been solid, he stepped up big time in the last game against the Pistons. He was decent in this one as well. But why is Ayo out there closing the game, one of your best three-point shooters who is shooting 50% from downtown, one of your first free agent signings, a lockdown defender, savvy veteran, and energizer on the court? How is he not getting more minutes? I get it when Alex Caruso is in the lineup, but it's inexcusable to see Jevon Carter only playing 14 minutes tonight. It really is. And it's getting more and more difficult to really have any faith in Billy Donovan whatsoever. Like, yes, a lot of this is on the players. Billy isn't taking the shots. He's not the one causing bad turnovers, but at some point, some accountability needs to be had on the coaching staff because they are the ones that need to actually turn this thing around. And it's unbelievable that this team is still not able to figure this out. That's on the coaches. It's their job to figure this out and make this roster work, to inspire the roster and get in the players' ears and holding them accountable when they're not doing their job. He's not going to be getting fired though, because we all know this new extension just went into effect. So saddle up, trades are going to be happening first before Billy is let go. Anyway guys, I'll be at the game on Wednesday. Hit me up if any of you are actually going to be there. As always, be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.